Hey there guys, and welcome to another Krozzfyre cast. I'm not going to do the lame ass introduction. The introduction is ass and lame. Let's just get this replay right underway. I'll do the introductions now as well. Playing as the Soviet player, we have CcArtS03. He's becoming quite a little regular feature of my replays. He's very good, very active on co2.org in terms of uploading replays, and interesting replays at that. So we'll be following Mr. CcArtS03 and seeing what he's going to pull off on Kholodny Ferma Kholodny Ferma Winter against Immortal. It's not equals bracket equals mortal. I believe it's just immortal. And he's going to be playing as the Austere, and you can see right away he's built his tier 1 building close to his headquarters. I believe he just wanted to get that down there straight away and able to get in order to get his grenadiers out as soon as humanly possible. In terms of building positioning, you can build this building slightly more forward, which means you've got you're closer to the battlefield as a reinforcing. But Immortal's obviously gone for something slightly different here, and immediately he's gone for his cutoff. But let's add some mystery to this game by turning the fog of war on and checking out CcArtS03. As I say, he's a good player, so I'd like to follow him just to sort of see what he's going to do. And straight away, he's got a great sandbag position coming down here, so he's going to be able to have nice green cover. So anything coming up from around about his base or the main road, he's going to have an advantage over he's firing upon it. But the other flip side of this is that the green cover on this side can be used against him as well, so we'll see how he's going to incorporate that in the match. But it's one of these things I mentioned before where he hasn't actually finished building it. I don't know whether that's on purpose, but if it is on purpose, it's quite good because it's just denying the actual area. So interesting. We'll see how that goes. He decides to get straight in this building, gives him a bit of vision and also a bit of defensive bonus, which you can see there's nothing about, so he's just going to get straight on out and get back to his capping. He's actually going for a very aggressive cap. No, he's not. He's going to go around. He's going to try and get the cutoff for the fuel instead. You can see his his combat engineers, as they are really quite not that good against most troops. He's just going to send them up there, and a good Urar away as well from this conscript squad. So you can see the MG had faced up, turned to face him. He Urar'd away. You can always check the MG to see its actual radius of fire to sort of see if you're going to be able to make it out or if you can make it to a flank or not. Always try and select that unit to check to see where the field of vision is. But now he's been able to get this very forward cap, and he should be able to come and take this. Middle point as well, should he so choose. So 3 conscripts out early. He's not going for any tech right now. He's just going to get some conscripts out in the field and impose his presence on the enemy. So this middle VP is this middle munitions point is going to go down, but the grenadiers are probably going to need a couple of shots. A nice aggressive push on this cutoff point now. He's got 2 conscripts who are going to be able to push away these grenadiers if he keeps chasing them down, but he's going to want to sort of keep 1 troop in here just to keep decapping. So the grenadiers smartly move away. He's going to let the cutoff point go down, but he wouldn't have won that fight if he had just chosen to run in. Excuse me. Conscript's now going to take this building, which firstly he's going to deny it for the MG. He didn't actually see it, so that's kind of lucky. The MG's going to take the church instead, or is he? No, he's going to come and focus on these conscripts down here. But whilst he's doing that, he's going to need some shots from the conscripts in that building, so he needs to be a bit aware. So the pioneers have gone for the aggressive cutoff point of the Soviet player, and the conscript's going to be easy enough to chase him away. And he's just being very annoying by having these conscripts in buildings. They're taking a lot less damage, and you can get those lucky kills on those grenadiers. Very annoying play by CcR. Very good at stalling, and he's able now to just cap up the top freely because Immortal really wanted to defend his cutoff, really wanted to defend his access to this field down here. He's just completely denied the top, and that will fall completely into the hands of the Soviets. Rather free as well, you know. He didn't really he's not really lost anything. He's not had to retreat any of his squads. He's now got 4 conscripts, building his 5th conscript. So a true spam. Generally, sort of like, if you're going to go for this build, 4 is normally the cutoff unless you really want to go spammy. Anything more than 4, you can see Molotovs are upgraded, which is great, especially when you've got this many conscripts, so you can have that many guys throwing away. MG, unfortunately, set up right outside the building. That's really frustrating that happens, especially when you're just wanting to try and get them out as soon as away. A good Molotov from here will deny this green cover of the all these guys, but he's taking too much fire now, and yes, he sees he needs to get out there, especially as a rifle nade comes in, landing on his own troops, not doing a great amount of damage. This MG is seriously low on health, but he's back in the building. He's able to suppress these guys. He's going to pin them very shortly, I believe. But no, his Molotov is back up. Molotov goes over. That could be the MG going down just to the flames. Ooh, MG's going to get out. But here comes the Flamer engineers. Yeah, the MG legs it for his life. He's going to fight another day and reinforce all these guys back at the base. But look at this map control early from this conscript spam. It's so effective because you've got so much fighting capability on so many angles of the force. So okay, this is a bit of a better sandbag position going down here, because he's only really ever going to want it down here to use his troops on this side of the sandbags. So this side of the sandbags facing nothing, and so that's good positioning. So it's something for y'all to think about. But look at this dominating map control. This is total domination so far. I mean, very few points that are left which are uncontended at all. This strategic point right outside of space now going down. If he wanted to, he could try it. Yeah, I was about to say, he could try and get in the building with these engineers, which he does. So not going to be capping that point anymore. They're going to be eating some shots from the MG and the mortar. But if he's wasting 2 units time to try and just dislodge an engineer squad from that building, it's really going to be worth it, especially as those guys are not going to be capping. Grenadiers are not going to be enjoying. They're down to half health, and they are soft retreating away from these conscripts. The conscripts are shooting it for free damage because these guys are just running. Not too sure if he wanted to get the cover or he just wanted to cap the point. But now he's turning the face, and it's 3-1 in terms of numbers. This MG is out of position. Unfortunately, he's moving too far forward. There you go. And the conscripts who are able to keep on top of them, it's going to drive them away. Grenadiers are also driven away. We do see that the common engineers had to get out of that building, but they're still very much in the fight. Still some flames down there. Now that the MG is in this building, he's going to have a stronger foothold to work out from. But look, this is just blue everywhere in the field. Everywhere is blue. VPs not so much, but in terms of income, in terms of territory, Soviets have got a huge advantage. You see he's got 160 fuel banked at the moment, but he's not built his tier 1 building. So a tier 1 building plus your tier... he's going to get in this building, so he's going to need a Molotov straight away, I believe. There you go. You can see the guy lining it up already. So even if he had the best of micro, by the time he got in there, he wouldn't be able to get out. But he's still sat in there. He needs to get out. There you go. So you can see he didn't lose any troops. But okay, now he did. He just loses 2. Just whoa, he's down to 1 guy. Get out of there, mate. Yeah, he got out. Okay. Meanwhile, again, he's just able to control the map just with Molotovs alone, essentially. I mean, all these buildings no longer benefit the austere player because he just eats a Molotov every time he gets in one. And obviously the burning over time, as well as the initial impact of the Molotov, it's great because it just forces your opponent to move. If nothing else, it forces him to get out of the position he was in, either into a more undefended territory or a less capable defended territory. He's going to run straight up in here. There was an MG in there. With the line of sight, it would have been reduced by the blizzard that was going on. Unfortunately, though, he didn't decide to go straight into the building. But again, you can just throw a Molotov in here. Throw a Molotov and get some guaranteed damage. This conscript, unfortunately, was on the wrong side of an MG. And we see some Panzer Grenadiers out now as well. So we know that tier 2 building is out. Unfortunately, these guys are freezing, but he does see that very quickly and goes straight to the fire. And, I mean, he's got this little bank of troops back here, but he is being quite micro-intensive in the front field. I'd like to see him try and steal this building. If he can, he does. So again, it's just denying that MG. The MG is going to be sat out. He's going to need some damage from a very close conscript squad. So he could lose a couple of members there. But instead he focused on the Grenadiers. The Grenadiers are trying to cap, but they'll go down south now. As now there's no people down south, but there is the never-ending flood of support because he's now at 6 conscripts and the 1 engineer. Okay, the bank of fuel is now up to 250. He has selected his doctrine, so he's going to be going for the shock troops, the KV-8 and the IS-2. So if we see an IS-2, that'd be very helpful. We don't see them that many. Not many in games anyway. The ISU-152 is generally favored over the IS-2. But hey, it's very early meta, you know. Stugs haven't made their big presence known yet, so there's still plenty of time to play around with the current settings, the current balance, and try and focus on what he can. So he's going for the a fuel OP right now, which is going to boost his fuel income significantly. Okay. So yeah, he's gonna take back his cutoff here. Unfortunately, it doesn't actually quite connect up through the VP, so this position is no longer in contact with his HQ. But he's just being annoying and aggressive. And look, this point right outside someone's base, he couldn't have taken this point. It just shows that you're under pressure. Even though he's not applying pressure on the top side of the map or on the bottom side of the map, being right outside the base says, you know, come and get me, come do something about this. And he doesn't have anything to answer really. So another fuel VP going down. Again, no tier 1 building, no tier 2 building, no buildings whatsoever from the Soviet player. 10 minutes in the game, he's still relying just on his conscripts alone. Conscripts doing a fantastic job against these Panzer Grenadiers, who are the unfortunate recipient of a Molotov. You can see him just burning away down there. The MG is going to be pissed off about that. He's going to open fire on the conscripts and force retreat. But there is a conscript squad ooh-roaring, so he's going to try and get down here and throw a Molotov before he has to retreat those guys. Meanwhile, top is being pushed off again just by the conscript flood, and another fuel VP down as well. So he's going to be sitting on 300 fuel very shortly. You see, he has used fuel to upgrade his Molotovs, but very rightly so, he hasn't even bothered with his anti-tank yet, because there's been no threat of tanks. Even though he's seen that this Panzer Grenadier's out, he's been able to hold the fuel, or deny the fuel, or harass the fuel for long enough that that his opponent just isn't thinking about it. So now here comes the... so let's take the fog off real quick, just so you can see this coming in. A small excursion force, again, they're going to try and go for this cutoff point of the Soviet player, and just try and harass him, and make him... just his game to the Soviet player, to the Austria player's game. So now that we see that the Flame half-track is out, and right away you can see he's going straight for his 18 nades. If he'd prematurely got his 18 nades out, it wouldn't have affected him. He's banking so much. So we could have very easily done that in that situation. But, yeah, you know, he might never have gone vehicles, so then it would have been a waste of 18 nades. So he did lose a conscript squad there, but it's not the end of the world. He's still got plenty more. And now the 18 have just finished upgrading. He's going to bait this in, I believe. Try and get this guy to come around the corner into his line of sight. If you can throw off a double 18 one 18 does go off, but there's no real strong AT presence. It takes a lot of 18 to bring down a half track. At least 5, like you can tell. He's under around about half HP now. A Molotov should be going off in here. Yes, it does. He's got plenty of munitions. Like another nice large bank of munitions. But he needs to get these guys out now. Now they're in too much danger of going down. He just got another NS. Oh, wow, okay. Wow. Great play from CcArtS. I really would have gotten my troops out of there a long time ago, but he stuck it out, waiting for the cooldown on the 18-8s. He's able to take down that half track, which is going to be huge. There's 120 munitions that the guy, that Immortal had sunk into that thing alone. But we can see now that the conscript flood is starting to diminish. It's not offering as it's not as effective as it was. He is going to counter this by getting some shock troops out just to take care of all the infantry, because that's all he has is infantry right now. He's taking down that one vehicle. 300 fuel now, and I mean, I don't know whether he's just going to save it straight for this IS-2, because the IS-2 does cost 300 fuel. But obviously he's still quite far away in terms of command points. I'd like to see him get something in place, just for reassurance, if nothing else. So here we go. This is the Panzer Grenadiers using the sandbag against him. Look, this is what I was talking about. The direction of the sandbag wasn't fantastic. If he had some barbed wire on the other side of it, it would have been a little bit better. Or if he'd adjusted it slightly to sort of, say, focus up this area, so we'd have been able to counter the directional cover that it gave. But, I mean, there we are. I mean, he did have this truck anyway for the green cover if he really wanted it. The engineers with their flamer are going to start capping up the bottom area. Meanwhile, these guys are going to go up top. It's worth noting, I forgot to actually mention, but he did have the, quite early, he did get his upgrade for his healing. So, the field infirmary. Which really makes his troops a lot more efficient. If they're all running out with full health, he's not going to be able to be constantly retreating them to get them filled up. So now, a pack gun and a mortar gun now as well. Pack gun can do what it likes. There's no vehicles in the field whatsoever right now, so he's got plenty of time to go up and counter that if he wants to. The MG and the mortar as well, though, does provide a nice little iron fist, the iron trio of support weapons in this middle area. So he's going to be able to effectively hold that for quite some time. These combat engineers are going to be I mean, they could have done a bit of damage, but the criticals on the flamethrower, I mean, the flamethrower always seems to explode or get blown up. It's now going to see great smoke from these shock troops, so now the MG is no longer able to fire at them, so they're going to be able to recover from this brief suppression, move into the smoke and throw a grenade right here if they so chose. And the fuel is going into his hands in terms of the conscripts. The conscripts were pushed out of this little iron fist I mentioned about, so you probably got a great Molotov off on that church. And a great flank coming up as well from the conscripts from down low. So the shock troops are eating up the MG fire, but the MG is going to have to get out. He's about to throw a Molotov there, but he was able to cancel it. And the Grenadiers are in trouble as well. The Grenadiers have to get out. Meanwhile, the bomb is securely in the hands of the German player, and there goes the sandbags. So he's going to be really upset about that. Free sandbag blowing up, but he's got a nice foothold in the top now, and like I said, 350 fuel bank. So we could very well to see him go straight for an IS-2. That's certainly an option. This building is in a lot of taking a lot of damage. It's something worth noting. I'm actually going to pause him because the action is so high paced, and I can't keep up. It's worth noting with buildings that there's always the roll of the dice factor, and you should always have this in the back of your mind that with most things there's a roll of the dice. Like if your troops are more injured, then it's a great deal of likelihood that they'll take a critical damage, a critical shot, killing a troop as well. It's the same with the buildings. When they take enough structural damage from one side, it doesn't matter how much health the building has, it's going to collapse. So plugging away at it with this pack gun is eventually going to drop this building. You can see the structural damage already in the middle. Let's have a little look. You can see it, this guy has not really got much cover there. He's kind of sad, and the building's starting to be destroyed. So just keep an eye out, because the more damage you can see. Okay, let's have a look at this building. This building is completely and utterly ruined. It's got no health left whatsoever. You can see a strong breeze would knock this thing over, so it's not a great position to leave any of your troops. Look at the sliver of health. I mean, that really is just the wrong timed fart, and that building will go down. It is still very early, guys. Let's get the replay carrying on. It is high paced. It is intense right now. They both dragged out tier 1, but I feel that CcArtS has really been dictating the pace, the tempo, and the build as well of mmortal. So you can see that this building was the focus of the pack gun and the mortars. He gets out, he lets the pioneers jump in. The pioneers shouldn't be in here, because that mortar is still firing. The conscripts can focus on this Grenadier squad if he so chose to. The conscripts up here are against very low Panzer Grenadier squad. I don't know if you realize how low this Panzer Grenadier squad is. Very nicely, okay, you can see the little micro there where the he's going to throw. That's sad. He's going to throw the Molotov, and he cancelled it by right-clicking behind him. But then he chose again the building instead of trying to finish off that Panzer Grenadier. So it does go down the shock troops then anyway. So it's 360 manpower loss for mmortal, and I believe that's his second squad at least that's gone down. I can't quite remember, but mortar squad is now feeling vulnerable, as will this pack gun be. A grenade going off in that very low health building, so the shock troops take down that MG that's in there. The Vet 2 mortars are gonna get out of there. No, he doesn't. He gets that one last shot off and killing that one last guy. Mortars cannot exist if there's only one of them. They are asymmetrical in that way, and very quickly he just picks it up with his conscript squads very easily. He doesn't mind. It's no skin off his nose, and this conscript squad can come and reinforce it to full strength if he wanted to keep it on the field for longer. Unfortunately, these flamer engineers, yeah, they were flanked by this MG42. So this MG42 is in a nice position behind in massive infantry, but if he can sort of squash these guys in, if he can sort of move up. Unfortunately, he lost that MG42 in this building, so I suppose he really can't. So the MG42 is more out of position than in position. But it did force off a squad, and he is still around here somewhere, probably hiding in a building, I guess. These guys are freezing, but they're going to get next to this fire and enjoy some tasty. No, they're not next to the fire. This is one of the frustrating things. You can see how small the radius of the fire is, and it's so annoying when that happens. But you can see the MG is kind of coming looking for warmth as well. He's going to set up right in front of these conscripts. Conscripts are going to be able to... Yep, they're going to decap, so which prevents the actual view. Sorry, the line of sight, should I say. But he's still slightly in there, so he does get pinned. But backup is on the way in terms of these shock troops. Shock troops will make very quick work of this this MG. He could have used some smoke to come into, but the actual range on the smoke isn't huge, and now he throws the smoke right on top of the MG. The MG is unable to fire whatsoever, completely disabled, and Very rightly so. He says, I'm out of here. I don't want to eat Molotovs and grenades for breakfast or dinner or lunch or whatever time of day it is. Hell, I don't even know because it's so bloody snowy outside. Conscripts have now caught with this MG42, and again, this is kind of Immortal's problem. He's sending these MG42s too far out. He's using them as his main capping force. Let's have a look at his army, actually, yeah. So he's got 2 Grenadiers, 2 MGs, and 1 Pioneer, as well as 2 packs. The packs are a bit overkill, but I mean, he's because he's had no vehicles out whatsoever so far, so it must be that he's saving for either a KV-8 or an IS-2 or both. But the Ostwind is a great call. There's no heavy AT out in the field. He must know that something big is coming because he's not had as much territory advantage as Soviet player has. Yep, the KV-8 has been selected. The KV-8 is going to be out in the field. So they kind of, I mean, the KV-8 will take down an Ostwind eventually if he swaps over to his other 45mm main cannon. But it's a very long, slow game. The KV-8 wins simply because it's a heavy tank, and the Ostwind is a medium tank. These guys get interrupted while building some mines. He's going to have to cancel those mines because they are now known. They've been seen, but he's going to be able to push off these Pioneers with the Flamer quite handily, I should imagine. We do hear the vehicle. Blizzard passing now, so the line of sight has been increased by everyone. Okay, KV-8 now rolling on in. But there are 2 packs about. I mean, he knows there's at least 1 pack about. I'm not too sure if both have been revealed. And now the Ostwind has been revealed as well. So now these guys need to get out of here as soon as possible. He wants to try and get a grenade off on that, an 18 nade off on the Ostwind as soon as possible. Unfortunately, those engineers go down. It's not the end of the world though, because you can look how many bodies he's got in the field at the moment. Pack-gun is taking, his 2 pack-guns look at a very nice covering of mana, but 1 goes down almost instantly. He's going to have to get this guy out of here and repair him up a little bit before he can engage his next time. Shock troops, this is a fantastic target for the Ostwind because the shock troops can do nothing against the vehicle. That is their biggest downfall, is that they're so good against infantry that they just completely forgot about vehicles and suck massively against them. We can see CcArtS is kind of just waiting for this CP5 to hit, so he's got another, like, at least 2/3 to go. No, at least a third to go, excuse me. Meanwhile, the Ostwind coming in, just making a mess, just blowing stuff up, which doesn't want to be blown up. If he'd had the foresight of planning a couple of mines about, it may have prevented the advance of the Ostwind, but he probably wasn't expecting it. He's probably expecting a P4 out, which generally is the first thing people go, but the conscripts are able to push on in against this AT gun. We do hear the strafing run coming in, trying desperately to save it, but we see some return arty and incendiary artillery barrage should very effectively take out this AT gun, or at least the troops that are on it. Let's take the fog of war off so we can see the damage done. No, he moves in the right direction, moves it forward. Takes very, very, very little damage actually. And now the Ostwind is just tearing a new arsehole for his people. So unfortunately, when he lost those engineers, he didn't replace them straight away. So the KV-8 is going to have to hang back a little bit from now. But he's so close, it's palpable to getting this CP5. So that's what he's doing. He's just waiting and waiting and waiting for this IS-2. And this is a build that we're seeing a lot more of. I think I covered it in one of the Barton topics I've done. But just by not building buildings, you're saving yourself at very least 135 fuel, I think. Which is a KV-8, in its own. So not by getting any buildings, and just by relying on his call-in troops as well as his conscripts. This Austrian has really paid for itself. Now he's taken out 600 manpower worth of OP points. But here comes the IS-2. I am pissed off with you, Mr. Flakwind Panzer, coming into my house, breaking stuff. That ain't cool. Conscript's going to get a great 88 off. There is no chance of this Austrian getting out of here now. And the IS-2, the underutilized tank of the Soviets, is going to come in here and say, hey, oh, let's go. So the Austrian, it is still should be the prime focus of the IS-2 because it's high. Because he's hit penalty 1, he's able to use Blitzkrieg, but with the damage engine, he's not going to be able to get it as far away as he'd like. Still plugging away, doing damage to the conscript. 15 kills now. I mean, this Austrian really has paid for itself before the IS-2 can do any damage to it, really. The IS-2 is chasing hard. He did eat a couple of pack shots there. He's done about half HP, look. As you can see, he's not having a whale of a time. And the pack gun is going to set up in his face. The 2 pack guns going to set up in his face. He needs to get the shot off as soon as humanly possible and retreat behind this building. So he's out of the line of sight, so yes, he does. He deleted the Faust from the back as well from those grenadiers. We see he still hasn't got any engineers out, so both his vehicles are going to rest at a low HP back in base until he can get some repair crews out. And you can see all of these conscripts are just chilling out now. They're not really doing anything. Is a smoke grenade was there? Did I hear a smoke grenade? No. I'm hearing things. But the shock troops now be able to walk all over in. There should be no vehicles out for Immortal. Let's double check. He is building a P4, which would be able to come in and finish off the IS-2 or the KV-8 if you had the right flank on it. A pack gun goes down. Grenadier squad is running around aimlessly. I think this could be Immortal's problem, really, is that he's sending out his troops to go cap in forward places, whereas what he needs to be doing is sending his troops to about here, to a safe place, and then moving them forward in en masse or with support. But I mean, he did have the support, I should say, then, of the MG42, but it was a little bit far away. IS-2 is going to take a couple more shots as he continues to slug on home. He's not having a good time there. We do see that he has got the engineers out now, but he's going to want more. He's going to want another engineer squad out at least, because those vehicles will take bare time, bruv. And meanwhile, he's triple capped, and no one likes to be triple capped. So the territory, even though he's winning the battle, the Austria are kind of winning the war now because he's able to take advantage of capping up. Huge splash damage, taking down 2 of those grenadiers, and we do see that the P4 is being revealed. But a quick 80. Oh no, he loses the Veteran G2 squad by a nice shot from the P4. Just to recover this pack, he should have thrown the 18-8 before he recovered the pack. But the pack's going to do some damage now. It all depends on how lucky he can get. There he goes, 2 shots off now. He's going to be, yeah, he does have the micro to manage that pack gun around it, but unfortunately it does go down to low numbers. Molotov, very predictable Molotov going off across here, but I mean, this is where CcArtS shines, is that he's able to micro several fronts at once, and when he's doing that, when you're causing like heavy micro from the player in one area, you can capitalize because you can see it. You can go to another area where one of his troops are, and you can see they just won't move. He's just spending all of his time microing something else. But that said, look at this. This territory right now is dire because he's had nothing to hold down these positions. He's had no MGs. He hasn't been building that many mines because he's been relying so heavily on Molotovs. And obviously his engineers were down for some time. So he hasn't been able to hold any of this area in anything less than brute force. We see the KV-8 is now pretty much repaired enough to get out anyway, get out and play, and he's going to focus. He very rightly got 2 engineers, as I said he should. Maybe he heard me, but the IS-2 is going to get fixed up. The KV-8 can challenge this P4 when he swaps his gun, even more so if he can get this 18-8 off, which he very easily will. So he can chase us down with the KV-8 and this 45mm gun. We'll see if he does choose to do that or just go and rush on in and take out some more support troops. Panzer Grenadiers are an ideal target. He'll like that with his flamethrower. And, you know, his advance is being slightly covered by the fog of war. The line of sight, the blizzard, whatever you want to call it. And he's able to go up and take this top VP up here. And his IS-2 is very nearly repaired as well. He has a small attack on the middle, so he's going to throw a Molotov off here now. You can see it going there. So it could spell the end of the MG42. One guy goes down, the other guy is staying in the building. No, he's trying to get out. He is eventually 2, so he doesn't want to lose it. He's going to set up in the face, though. That's not a great idea. So the KV-8 was able to push off the Panzer Grenadiers quite effectively, but unfortunately showing side armor to the Panzer IV, and that's not what you want to be doing. The MG did a great job of staying there, but he's going to eat that grenade. He's going to lose the Vet 2 machine gun, and he shouldn't have done that. He shouldn't have left it there. He should have gotten it out straight away because it was never going to kill these guys. And if he stayed in there just a slight bit longer, he would have capped that building. He's going to recreate with shock troops, which is very expensive in terms of manpower. But hey, it's denying your opponent it, and he had the manpower anyway. KV-8 is going to have a whale of a time against these Grenadiers. You can be like, come at me, brah. Show me the little Panzer Faust. I'll burn the shit out of you. And meanwhile, he's just able to cap away with up the top of this one conscript squad. So slowly he's getting his ooh, yeah, run. Oh no, he went down. Goodness gracious me, was that a pack gun? Couldn't have been a pack gun. It might have been a pack gun. But that sucks. That's 408 manpower down the drain. That's why I don't really build shock troops that much. And I'm not a professional player. I don't think anyone's really a professional player just yet. But KV-8 is in danger of being flanked because he had his engine fausted. But he's going to be able to roast away this AT gun very... Ooh, he does go down from one extra shot from the Panzer IV. IS-2 is pissed. He's like, the fuck do you do with my best friend, man? I should stop swearing. I'm sorry if there's any younger crowd watching. But the IS-2 is going to charge on in here. He should be able to deal with this P4 very easily if you think about it. I mean, he costs at least 2 P4s. So in that sort of frame of thinking alone, he should be winning this fight. And he is very comfortably taking care of this P4. Boom! Goes the dynamite. This church, even though I said it took so much structural integrity that I probably wouldn't get back in it again, he shouldn't get back into it again. And he's got another Vet 2 MG42, so it's almost like a bit of a flashback to like 2 minutes ago. And here's another P4. Another P4, he's gone on the opposite directional flank. He's going to be able to get this 18-8 off, which is going to be able to disable him somewhat. And he should just get out of here because these Panzer Grenadiers are in trouble. We see a replacement KV-8 though, just because it's a call-in, obviously comes straight away. There's no build time on it. KV-8 is going to be able to kite around, take out the app very easily, deals a death blow to the AT gun. As well as the MG42 got out, but then he died outside. And now they're going hunting. Now they smell Panzer IV, and they like Panzer IV for breakfast. Especially when a Panzer IV has got a destroyed engine, or a damaged engine at least. IS-2 can just be brutal and just sort of man it and shove it in his face, right down his throat. And hopefully win the battle anyway. But it seems like he's not. It seems like he's taking a bit too much damage. He really should have been supporting with his KV-8, but the KV-8 has been able to do his causing plenty of havoc and destruction down there. So now we can see that the actual IS-2 is going to win this fight now. It was a bit risky because he was low health, but because his frontal armor is greater than P4. What? Oh, pack in on the rear. So, I mean, that pack in had like no health. He's kind of like, you can see him from like a Japanese movie where he's like, "Ah, I'll kill you with my last breath, man." I don't know why he's Italian if he's Japanese. Don't ask me, I don't know. But the conscripts are going to go and cap up the top point. I mean, losing that IS-2 sucks. And just going to show the IS-2 isn't that great. But I mean, it was very extended and no infantry backup. KV-8 now goes down. Did he do enough damage though? I mean, he sort of prevented the guys from leaving his base. He still has a P4 out though. P4 and a Vet 3 packing. Oh, that 3 packing goes down. Wow, this conscript just this conscript's going to have some beers when he gets home. Because he just took down both the tank and the Vet 3 AT vehicle. So now he's going to start capping up his points again. He's only capping up one at a time. He's not actually shift clicking and queuing up his commands. But he's just got so many troops in the field right now. That's going to be the overwhelming factor in the game. Especially as he's stolen 2 pack crews as well. He's going to be able to wheel them back towards his base in the safety of his own little nest. Panzer Grenadiers should very easily push away this concept squad. He does lose one though coming in. They are Vet 2 after all, but now they're right up close. Short of a Molotov being thrown here, he just needs to get them out. I don't know if he's paying attention. These guys are going to go down. Yeah, they're dead. And we can see the conscript army is. This is how the conscript spam evolves. I mean, yes, he's lost quite a lot of his conscripts. But he's also been able to recruit an MG, a mortar, and 2 Packards without building the buildings. So he's able to just use his conscripts to be the highly versatile army that it needs it to be. The Molotov goes off prematurely before the guys were in cover, but the guys went to cover, so they should be able to push away this off. This is a substantial little force in the top area. Panzer Grenadiers down there, but there's a lot of troops about. The mortar is here as well. Mortar, I'm sure, is going to be. And I mean, what's better than 2 KV-8s? Well, 3 KV-8s is obviously better than that. It's worth noting that the IS-2 and the KV-8's emergency 1 ability is the ability to secure mode, so they won't be able to. They'll be able to walk on over to a point and cap it, but they won't be able to fire whilst they're actually in there. Very useful because it's not as though that tank is going to be budged anytime soon. So we can go and defend the point or go and take an aggressive cap and not really feel too threatened. And he's got plenty of targets to shoot at, plenty of things to choose from. I mean, there was the P4 earlier on, but it was very low health. So let's have a look. Still pretty low health over here. So hopefully you'll be able to repair that up and get it back on the field sometime soon. MG is trying to get a nice position on the Grenadiers, and he does set up right in its face. He should be able to pin these guys. Because these guys are so close to him, he won't be able to throw a rifle nade either. Here's KV8, and I think this is going to be the game changer. I think the KV8 is going to be the finishing blow for the austere, because he can just deal with infantry so easily, so quickly. And he's got this little bank of troops here which he can send out and recap this point. But he's using his mortar, which is freezing. Mortar needs to go find a fire ASAP. KV8 being an imposing force up top. You see the fuel income is actually very low. I mean, if the austere player is able to take out this KV8, there's nothing that CcArtS has in terms of heavy vehicles. He just has to rely then on tier 1 units. So it's worth noting that, you know, even though he's got this build, it's very fuel intensive. Everything costs a lot. Troops dying in the cold, mate. That'd be this mortar squad here. Again, near a fire, not on a fire. I wish there was maybe some... I don't know. It'd be kind of easy mode if you had some sort of scripting where your guy would run to the closest fire when you sort of selected him to. But it'd prevent those really annoying losses where your guys are right next to the fire. They're like, Jesus Christ, it's cold out here. I wish I was standing like a millimeter closer to that fire and I wouldn't die. Anyway, that's my 2 cents anyway. So, choosing to focus on the south side, but I mean the VPs are getting quite low. He's in threat of being triple cap, but he should be able to take this point in exchange. So he's still going to be bleeding, but not as much as he was. Managed to get off a good Faust on the KV8, which is going to cost time for one of these pioneers to come up and focus. But here comes a base rush from the P4, which is interesting. I mean, you can do a lot of damage here. There's no AT about. I mean, his Pack-in is very slowly wheeling away from the top, and the other Pack-in is right up there as well. So he draws them out, and you look at the amount of damage that was relatively nothing. So if you wanted to, you could just leave it there for the time being. I mean, the Pack-in has been spotted now. This MG is unfortunately in the wrong position. If he was focusing on the Pack-in, he might have been able to decrew it, but no, not yet. I mean, the VPs are still the key factor here. So he could have sat in his base the all day with the P4, but it wouldn't have changed the fact that he was going to lose the VPs. So CcArtS, he's not being aggressive with his KV8s, as you can see. I mean, I think he was kind of felt a bit threatened by his fuel. He can now afford to get another KV8 out if he wants. Yeah, he does. Look, I mean, excuse me, I'm very late in the morning, not much sleep. Second KV8 is just going to be able to have him on both sides of the field, deal with any infantry that come to try and take out the VPs, and then he can just swap over and deal some damage. Okay, the Pack-in is doing a great job of taking out this P4 anyway, so this big ball of Grenadiers is going to eat fiery death from this KV8. The focusing straight onto the veteran seed ones, and the others getting out of there. Pack-in takes down that P4, and I feel that is probably good game. I mean, you can see my amazing paint action down here. I actually used MS Paint for that. That's how old school I am when it comes to my creative. I don't have any creative abilities artwork wise. If any of you guys do and want to do something for me, hey man, that's cool. I'll pay you in replays. Pakui managed to wheel it all the way back there and start to recrew it. But I mean, like I say, I mean, he's in such a. I mean, you can just throw away this KV8. It doesn't matter if he throws away this KV8 because the main one is up here, protecting both of the top VPs. He can't get past to this VP unless he gets past this point here. So, and even then, it's a triple cap about to come into play. So KV8 just being like, lol pal, what are you gonna do? Incendiary barrage coming down in the base. Don't think that's gonna hit anything really. Don't think it's gonna do a great amount of damage. But he had the munitions to throw away, so he may as well. And the KV8, like I say, he's just coming along, roasting troops left, right, and center. He's able to run over troops as well. If when he does that flame, it slows him down because all the guys hit the floor and start crawling around a little bit. And when they're doing that, they're quite vulnerable, so they can be run over. Some damage coming out somewhere on this Pack-in, not much. You can see a last desperate hurrah from this one guy who's like, leave it to me guys, I got this, yeah? Just running Rambo style, he's going to cap up everything, plant some demo charge in the base, destroy it, and win by annihilation. Well, that is my prediction for this game. That is why you watch these replays, is because I'm very good at predicting these games and knowing what happens. The Spanish Grenadier is probably going to go down. If not, the KV-8 is going to catch him on retreat. Should the KV-8 tank turret focus on him? Yep, there he goes. See, my amazing prediction. And now here comes the Lone Pioneer to plant the damage charge and win the game. And that's a good game. I'm going to throw it now. I'm joking. No, but I mean, it's been nice. CcArtS is always one to be inventive and creative with his builds. He doesn't always go the normal, well, I'm going to get an Su-85 out as soon as humanly possible, build. And it's the same when he plays as the IS-2 as well. He usually sort of has an interesting Pioneer and the Tier 2 build, which is very effective, and people just aren't expecting it. This is why CcArtS is winning his games quite handily. Some more incendiary barrage going down needlessly. It's just showing off that snow melts. 25 points remaining, and that lone engineer, the lone pioneer, Rambo, the pioneer who could, is out there doing his business. KV-8 catches all these troops, and it's kind of fun to watch, kind of sad to watch at the same time, just how much damage these guys do. And there's only 4-man squads, and they just dissipate within seconds. So you really can't stick about and hang out with these guys, especially if you're infantry. Pack gun is facing the wrong way, but it doesn't matter. It really doesn't, nothing matters anymore. I mean, as long as the KV-8 can protect this point here for the next couple of seconds, and this KV-8 can protect this point here for the next couple of seconds, he's got the game in the bag. So yeah, I mean, Immortal's going to lose his pack gun again. It's just desperation play. You really just want to try and cap at the point, but he just doesn't have the ability to do so. Nice flames coming in to finish off this Vet 3 squad. He's going to chase it home. Well, I would, because there's only 10 points left. And it's a Vet 3 squad. It always looks cool on your resume when you finish off something like that with KV-8. There he goes. Down he goes. He's just going to sit in the base now for the remainder of the game. And it was a good game. Like I say, I like watching CcArtS replays because you always try something new and something different. We don't see many IS-2s whatsoever. Maybe rightly so from this replay. I mean, that IS-2 did do a good job of taking down the P4s eventually, and we didn't see it do this huge infantry damage that it can do. But I mean, let's have a look at CcArtS base. No buildings at all. No buildings at all. And you're seeing, like I say, from bot and spam tactics, this is very viable. You can get everything that you need from your commanders alone, and just from conscript spamming. So he didn't even need to hit the dirt or PBSHs to win with his conscripts early. He used them as a flood, as a blanket to come across all of the map, and always have a superior force no matter where he was. And when that tide started turning, then he was able to get the KV-8 out, which it came at the same time as the Austrian did from Immortal. I think Immortal's timing was kind of spot on. It was kind of like just when he needed to get it out, but the KV-8 is going to win. It is a heavy tank, like I say. What could our friend Immortal done differently? Well, he was quite unfortunate with the loss of his half track up here, but it was also good play by CcArtS. So he kept the focus on there. Like I say, it normally takes about 5 18-8s to take down, but because he had small arms fired on it as well, it went down in 4, and he didn't. I think he got like 8 conscripts, maybe been about 8 conscripts for that half track. So it really didn't pay for itself whatsoever. If he was able to keep that alive, or if he was able to get some scout cars out maybe early, maybe he could have done something. But I mean, against an URA and an 18-8 coming in, you really need to be on top of your game in order to avoid those. I mean, this is a poor play. He went for packs very early. He was just he was threatened by the actual map control that CcArtS had. But then CcArtS used that to his advantage as well, just by not getting any vehicles whatsoever. He didn't, so he had 2 pack guns out before he had his first vehicle out. It's just a lot of manpower investment into something that's not even there yet. Yes, they're always kind of good to have because at least it's a deterrent, and if your opponent finds them, then they're going to be like, oh crap, he's got pack guns, I shouldn't get any vehicles out or send any vehicles here. But it's manpower that could have been used in other areas. You could have got out some more Panzer Grenadiers, for example, to really start taking on the conscripts a bit more. But they would have really come up short against the KV-8s and things. I don't know. It is a very interesting game. I'm not one to break the meta in one game. CcArtS is a beast of a player and someone to watch out for. But that said, Immortal did a very good job, and he had some very threatening moments of his own as well. So thank you both guys for giving me a great replay to shoutcast or analyze or review, whatever you want to call it. I've enjoyed it. I've been Krozzfyre, you've been cool, and I'll see you guys in the next cast. Take it easy.